How proud are you of the way those guys battled through?
Proud, but also just a little relieved and also really happy for Evan Russell. As much as you beg the kids to not look at a lot of things, but some of them being internet stats, I'm sure they do, and it probably bothers them when they're not what they want them to be. But by the end of the year, the numbers will even themselves out if the kids have the right approach. And almost every day, Evan does have the right approach. To see him get rewarded is awesome, but also just kind of put that day together. And then I don't mind saying it now that the game's over. It would have been really tough to swallow to lose a game where one of our kids or just a Tennessee Vol has an effort like that in one day. So not only did we win the game, come back, win the series, but to me, we salvaged an epic day by Evan Russell when we won that game.
Tony, just what were those, 12 to 16 hours like in between the game being suspended and having to resume the game today, and just what Kirby was able to do, and then Drew Gilbert just leading the 2 walk-offs in one day? Just kind of what was that process like for you, and what was your message to the team coming back to the ballpark today?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining for me when that O'Malley dude was fighting in the UFC fight. So that was a good kind of get your mind off things. But there wasn't a lot of sleep because you were going to have your mind racing going on all the things that went on last night. And then you were going to have to get up early for this morning's game. But I didn't have much to say this morning other than just to throw BP to some guys and watch them do their thing. And I think I felt that way, and the other coaches did too, because we had a great conversation in the locker room last night. And it was basically about, future, past, and present. And we'll kind of leave it at that. But they showed up ready for the present moment. And I think even if we don't win that game for some reason, or if Drew doesn't get a hit or the right fielder catches it, that first inning was impressive, starting with, Kirby's strikeout on one pitch, and then just the whole vibe they had going.
Yeah, just how contagious is the kind of confidence and winning mindset that this team seems to have right now?
Yeah, well, Ryan, contagious is not a good word to use in 2020 or 2021, but I know where you're going with that. I think it's a self-belief thing, and you need everybody to have their own self-belief, but when it kind of spirals or spins downhill for the whole team, now it's a team belief thing. And I think they feel good about any situation we're now, left in any game. And part of that is our own fault, our own doing. We've put ourselves in some really tough circumstances, but we've also, worked our butts off, or the kids have, to put themselves in some interesting situations. So now we've kind of seen them all. I mean, that's 2 games now, I think, where the bases loaded have been intentionally walked, or maybe even 3. So just a situation that pops into my head, but I think you can get the ball spinning downhill for you if you have some days like today, that's for sure.
All right, we'll go to Wes next, and then we'll go to Joseph after that.
Yeah, Tony, in a game like this, it seemed like LSU was on base every inning, and there were so many sort of, nervy kind of pressure-packed pitches. How much does it help having a guy like Hunley on the mound there? Just a guy who doesn't really seem to emote almost when he's out there. He just seems so level-headed.
Yeah, no, he is, which is a good lesson for all our other guys. We've said that before. But it also means you can just kind of sit back and say, this is what we're going to do. And Redmond's earned that right too. And hey, both those guys have been out there before in their careers, which are now long ones, where it didn't go well. But those are 2 guys, because of their work ethic, how good of teammates they are, the stuff they have too. When they're in there, you can just kind of sit back. I mean, there's other times where you're looking at matchups and you're going up and down the roster, but there's a sense of comfort, I think, for the coaching staff. So that means that's got to carry over to the players too, because the players usually sense what the coaches are feeling. And I think it makes our guys better players. So again, a lesson learned for the other pitchers, but it's not easy to achieve that status. It comes with a lot of time. It comes with a lot of work, and it comes with great, great presence. And I'm proud to call myself teammates with those guys that I mentioned.
Tony, we haven't had a weekend like this since the early 2000s. What does it say about this team, and more specifically about you as a head coach coming in and being able to turn around this program?
I think it says a lot about the team, but I'll come back to that. I think first it says something about Knoxville is a baseball community. Call it a sleeping giant if you want to refer to the group or not. But I mean, there's all this talk about it, maybe a AA stadium and all those things. There's a lot of good baseball. I mean, look at all the good players that have come out of this area. I hate to go down the recruiting trail, but it's even getting better. There's a lot of good baseball people. Joe Nathan, I mean, the crazy amount of people that live in this community that are big time baseball people. So it's there. They just needed to be riled up a little bit. And guys like Drew Gilbert will rile up about anyone. So I also feel like it says a lot about the team because they have, and I don't just mean this team. I mean, last year and the year before, they've kind of knocked down some walls, literally. I mean, to my right and to my left, we've got new stuff going on in our facility. Nothing major, but there are things that have happened because of the way our guys have worked and the way they've played. And they've gotten certain people to say, man, I got your guys back. I like the way you guys do things. So we appreciate those guys that have been here for all those years, like Russell and Luke, who had the walk-off hit today, and Pete, who battled through that foul ball off his foot, Heflin, who started the game, Hunley. It's getting us to places. And I hope the guys that are right behind him are ready to carry the torch.
All right, guys, we'll do 3 more. We'll go to Troy and then back to Ben and then back to Wes to finish.
Tony, I know you don't hang your hat on wins in March, but you all came into the season kind of hoping to be able to rectify some of the things you didn't get to do last year with a sweep like this. Do you kind of feel like that starts to realize a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think just kind of starting the talk was this was our first SEC weekend in Knoxville since that Mississippi series almost 2 years ago. So it's nice to win the games, but the vibes kind of started a little bit in Georgia, but then a lot here in Knoxville when it's kind of a, pinch yourself deal where it's like, here we are, we get to do this. And I mean, I've behaved like a child plenty. People know that I want to win games, but I have said to the team many times and myself, I just want to play as many games as possible this year. It was a struggle mentally for everybody not to get to do what you work for and what you enjoy doing. So every time we get to go out there, even if it's a rough day or a long day or a rainy day, everybody should appreciate it to the fullest. And I know I do. And the way these guys play, I think they do as well.
Tony, just what were your thoughts on Blade today? And I'm going to steal an idea from Mike. Drew Gilbert had a sweatshirt last year with your face on it. After today, could we see a sweatshirt for you of Drew's face on it?
Yeah, you're kind of spoiling something that maybe was in the works a little bit, but no, I'm going to take that idea and run with it if we keep it between you and I. But he's also got a sweatshirt with Coach Q's face on it. So he's a lot tougher than he looks, maybe if you're going by stature, because I wouldn't mess with Q at all. But he's, kind of got the creativity bag going at all times with things he brings to the park. But what was your other question? I'm sorry.
Blade.
Yeah, that guy. He's all right, huh? Just another good outing for him. I think, his first SEC outing at home would be the way I would start. And his, kind of evolution as a pitcher is going on right in front of us. And it's going to be fun to watch. But this was his first SEC outing at home. He's kind of starting to shake a little bit more on pitches that we call or Coach A calls or PAV relays, other things to it. And again, I think that's why the best pitchers I've been around have stayed that way or have gotten that way as they evolve each time out. And anyone that's in Knoxville or the state of Tennessee now knows Blade's really good, and probably a lot of other people. So the key for him and the enjoyment for me is just that evolution that's going on. And I think he's right in the thick of it right now.
Tony, I guess every win kind of counts the same no matter how you win it. But, sometimes the opponent will just kind of give you a little bit of a gift or help you. But the way LSU made y'all earn that one, I mean, some of the plays they made defensively to extend the game, just, and I'm sure your guys know that too. Just how much more does it feel good when you've actually earned a win like that?
It does matter. I mean, like you said, each win is worth one. But I've got a good buddy that coaches basketball, and of course, good buddies with Coach Barnes too. But a big time dunk can really change an entire game at the right moment and give a team momentum. And so the way things go down, like if Pete's safe at first, or even just moving the guy on a slash, in that situation when their third baseman crashed, it's even better than a sacrifice. It just is, because momentum is a real thing in sports. And wins like today can give our guys momentum literally throughout the entire year, because it's a top program. There's top talent. And I mean, there's a shortstop who's making plays that big leaguers may not make in certain situations. So it does mean a little bit more, and it does give you confidence. And you'd like to think everything's one cup equals one cup, but that's not the case in sports, which is one of the reasons it's real fun.
I was seeing it well. I was getting into some heater counts, and I got some pitches to hit, and I was relaxed in the box, and my mentality was just to try to help the team win. And I got some pitches over the plate, and I was just trying to stay with the approach of getting the ball out front, and it kind of took off. So it was fun.
Yeah, Evan, Tony said that maybe you'd been paying attention to just the numbers and the way that things had gone so far this year. Did a game like that just, clear your mind and open you up to kind of move forward with some success now?
Yeah, it feels good to kind of have a breakout game, to have something, or a couple ABs fall for me. It feels like I haven't been able to get anything going with, like, I've been getting behind an account when I swing at bad pitches, or, I get a ball that's a borderline call that's made against me. But it feels good to have a game to where the ABs were falling my way. So hopefully that can keep going.
All right, we'll go to Ben next, and then Troy.
Evan, do you feel like you all made a statement this weekend? I know you all have been successful the last couple of years, but haven't been many series wins over teams like LSU over the last decade or so. Do you feel like you all made a statement this weekend?
Yeah, I feel like we're in the talks to be one of the top programs in the nation. And, it's really nice to go in the locker room and see a bunch of guys that, they're not surprised. We knew right out the gate that we were better than that team, talent-wise. We know that they can hit. We were shocked to see them be able to hit the way they can after Chad Dallas, made them look kind of worse than what they were, because that team can hit and they've got some good arms. But I feel like that we're just an overall better team right now than they are, and that's where we're trying to get to. And that's the hard work that's been put in by 9 guys in the lineup and, multiple guys out of the pen. So I feel like the hard work's paying off, and people are starting to see us get rewarded for it.
Evan, kind of off of that, I know y'all came into this season wanting to accomplish all the things you didn't get to a year ago. With a sweep like this, does that kind of start to feel real in a sense?
Yeah, 3 years ago, I was on the plane coming from Baton Rouge, and kind of feeling sick to my stomach. So I know the position that LSU's in, but being able to get in this spot that we are now, and grow as a team, it's pretty real, because 3 years ago that was us, getting walked off and having to get on the plane and head home and try to start a new week. But now that we're on the other side of the table, it feels kind of nice.
Wes, we'll go to you.
Yeah, Evan, I know that, both with you and with Luke, I know that the numbers, when you look at them, they're just not what y'all want them to be. But for y'all to come through this weekend and kind of fight through it, and for the coaches to kind of keep faith in y'all, to keep you in the lineup, to know that it's going to come, what's that mean?
If you've been watching the games of Luke Lipsius and I, of us playing, Luke's been hammering some baseballs that just aren't falling. He's had some really good ABs, and he's a competitor, and he's got some power that not many people in this league have. And we've been talking before games. We're like, man, it's coming, which it's really nice to see V keep giving us chances, because he's got faith in us, and it's really nice for him to, stick with us. But, I could have told you that Luke Lipsius was going to be a big part of that game based off the previous ABs. Even yesterday, he didn't have anything to show for it, but he had some great at-bats, and was on pitches, but it just wasn't quite falling for him. So, you know, I'm really excited to see Luke, you know, break out of this as well, because, you know, it's going to fall for him.
I guess we'll take 2 more for Evan. We'll go to Mike and then Joseph.
Yeah, Evan, Tony said last night before you guys left the stadium, you guys had a really good conversation. He just kind of said it was about the past, present, and the future. What was kind of the point of the conversation, and how did you guys walk away from it feeling?
You know, I mean, he's as happy as anybody for my success. You know, he's had my back from day one, and you know, even after I'm done playing under him, I'm gonna have a long or lifelong friend and lifelong mentor, because I look up to him, and I feel like he's got respect for me as well. So, you know, he wasn't surprised with the outcome of last night. You know, he was happy for me, but he knew that it was coming based off of my ABs and stuff. And it was just a really nice conversation, because he's a guy that I really look up to, and you know, and the respect is mutual, I would say.
I've got to ask you about the celebratory hat that the guys had on you last night after your 3 home run performance. Where'd that idea come from? And do these little things kind of help bring up the morale of the team and get you guys going?
Oh yeah, it's just some fun stuff that the dugout likes to do. You know, with the game, how the game's going in today's world. You know, it's like it's trying to make baseball as entertaining as you can, and you know, having something to use as a celebration, it's always cool. And you know, it's really nice to get the hat on for sure, and I think it goes well with our uniforms with the pink.
Hey, Sean, you were used a pretty good bit this weekend, pitched Friday night and then having to pitch twice today. Just was there anything different with your routine, especially today with having to pitch kind of in the game 1 or game 2, whatever you want to call it, and then coming back and pitching in the finale?
I'd say no, not really. I'm, usually throwing on a Friday and Sunday, and that's the way it worked out. And that's the same routine I've been on this whole season. So it kind of worked out both ways.
It seems like a couple of these Saturday games, you guys are going to have to go deep in the pen, and you guys just kind of work together to get these wins and, give your offense a chance. What does that say about the bullpen and how you guys prepare for games?
It says a lot. There's a lot of guys in the bullpen that, come in and want to do the job for the team. A lot of guys that throw strikes and a lot of guys that compete and want to get out there and help their team win. So it's been a lot of fun in that bullpen this year.
All right, we'll go to Troy next and then Wes.
Sean, I kind of have 2 questions for you. First, have you ever had 2 wins in one day? And 2, I guess, just how important is a sweep like this to kind of, make a statement for you all as a program?
No, I haven't had 2 wins in a day like this before. As far as, the sweep goes, I think it's a very good momentum swing for the rest of the season, or for next week for Alabama. We'll take it into the Western Carolina game Tuesday, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Yeah, Sean, I know that you've been around guys like Luke and guys like Evan for a while, and you know them as players, and their numbers coming into this weekend just weren't great, but they're guys who have been there for you. How happy were you to see them kind of bust out with some big hits this weekend?
Oh yeah, I was very happy. Russell had been struggling a little bit early, and then for him to come out there and hit 3 home runs that game was massive. I was very excited for him too. Seeing Luke doing well makes me happy too. I've been with those guys for 3-4 years now, and we have each other's backs, and I love seeing them succeed.
All right, we'll go to Mike and then Ryan.
Yeah, Sean, you just kind of mentioned how, you, Evan, and Luke are guys who have been here a while. What's it been like to see this program get to a place where you sweep a series like this, and it doesn't seem to come as a surprise? It just seems like this is now what you expect to happen for Tennessee baseball.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference is, freshman year, we actually went to LSU and ended up losing on walk-off. And the biggest difference, I think, was, we kind of showed up to LSU like, wow, like we're actually here. And as to where this year and even last year, we show up and we're like, expecting to win. Like we have all the confidence in the world, and it shows on the field.
Kirby still hasn't given up a run this inning. Just where have you seen his game grow the most from last season to this season?
I think it's pure confidence, and I think it's a little bit has to do with that mustache he's got going on. Yeah, he's throwing everything for strikes right now with a lot of confidence. He's able to mix pitches really well, and I'm happy to see him succeed too.
All right, we'll finish with Joseph.
What can you say about Blade and how he's performed, being a freshman, especially in these first two SEC starts?
Yeah. When we started the season, I think he was a little timid at start, which is normal for a freshman. But he's done really well, and he's growing into his mechanics and stuff like that. And he's throwing everything for strikes with a lot of confidence, and he has a little bit of crazy in him, which helps at times too. So yeah, I'm happy to see him succeed too today.
Thanks, Sean.
Where have you seen the team improve most, not only throughout this season, but from last season as well?
Yeah, I think one area in terms of improvement would just be energy. I think we got a bunch of guys that are, we're behind each other in the dugout. And I think we've kind of come to understand that, like, we can win a battle just in the dugout, just from a psychological standpoint. And then, as far as this season, I would say early on, obviously you guys saw we had a lot of strikeouts at the plate. And I think we've toned that down and battled some pitches. Obviously, you're always going to have strikeouts, but, we've kind of toned that down a bit and made some adjustments.
Drew, can you kind of take me through the at-bats, the end of the first game today, both the game tying hit and the home run? And then what was that period waiting like to find out whether or not it was a home run or not?
Yeah. First AB in the ninth inning. First of all, I don't think that run scores unless Jake Rucker doesn't move him over to second to put him in scoring position. And then, to start that at bat, I took a couple swings or, I had a little too much effort, kind of lost my direction and fouled a couple pitches off and, made an adjustment, loosened up and just reacted to a fastball. And then the last AB, I kind of tried to tune out all my thoughts and just let the work I've put in show. So.
All right, we'll go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Drew, up here near us, there's a little section of people rocking some number 1 jerseys. I was just curious if that happened to be your family.
Yeah, that's my family. I think it's two of my uncles. So he had told me yesterday, or actually Friday, because I didn't know they had them. He said they had them made, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. Do they live up in Minnesota? Do they get to come down and watch you play a ton, or kind of what's the story behind that?
Yeah, one of my uncles, he lives up in Minnesota, and then the other one actually lives in New Mexico. So, yeah, this is their first time coming up to Knoxville to come see me play.
All right, we'll go to Troy next, and then Wes.
Drew, the moment never seems too big for you. Is evidenced by those 2 big hits. I guess, what is it about you that kind of allows you to maybe thrive and find a way to come through in those moments?
Yeah, I think part of it is just understanding that, my teammates have my back. And then kind of just trusting all the work I've put in, over the years. I feel like I've worked very hard to get where I am. Obviously, it's still a long ways to go. And then I think third, in high pressure situations, if you want to call it, or big time moments, I try to calm myself as much as I can because, everyone else in the stadium, including on the field, is all, jacked up. And I want to be that one person that's not, where I have clear thoughts and just trying to execute.
Yeah, Drew, how much better do wins feel when the other team kind of makes you earn them the way that LSU made y'all earn this one? Their shortstop just was unbelievable. Their outfield covers pole to pole, it seems like. How much better does that make you feel when you really earn it?
Absolutely. I'm assuming all of you guys have heard this one. If it's easy, it's not worth having. So, they're young. They're a great ball club. They've been a great program for a while. Like you said, their shortstop made some big league plays. I think Coach Vitello said, some big leaguers probably can't even make those plays. And they can hit. They put a lot of hits up on the board, and there was never an inning where it was, you could relax. So it was tough, but it feels good to get those type of wins.
Okay, we'll finish with Mike.
2 parts, Drew. One, what's it like seeing Evan and Luke have the games that they had after the season they've had? And 2, should Tony Vitello now get a sweatshirt with your face on it in light of what you've done recently?
To answer your first question, I think it's pretty cool. Those guys have been here, kind of with this whole turnaround. Those guys have worked extremely hard. Both of them are 2 great leaders, 2 great locker room guys. And, we know it's just a matter of time until they get it going. I mean, you saw with Evan what he did yesterday, hitting 3 homers. You don't see that type of stuff often. That's what he's capable of doing. And then Luke, I mean, battling, tough pitcher on the mound, 2 strikes. I mean, that's a great swing. Obviously, won us the game, so it's pretty cool. And then to answer your second question, I actually did see that tweet, and I don't know. I don't know how I should answer that one for you. I want to say yes, but we'll see, I guess.
All right. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, guys.